Well, we set off with Captain Brian here on a sailing trip this week.
We sure did, but the wind and the waves just didn't cooperate.
Right, we were heading up to Connecticut and took a turn.
We did a 180 and said, well, everything's going west, let's go west. And so we went here.
On our way to the big city.
Had some traffic. Wow. It was a little bit crowded there south of the Battery. Look at that. What a mess. Well, that's the first time seeing New York from this vantage point. You know, some of those guys paid a lot of money to see that view from the water. We were still working our way up river at this moment.
Yeah.
And then we finally anchored on the Jersey side, so we'd have that view as our backdrop.
It was really spectacular. You know, we were there on September 11th. You know, maybe that's why it was so quiet that morning. We were wondering, how can it be so quiet in New York on a, you know, early in the morning? But
what a full moon! Wow, then fireworks.
Well, fireworks at the end. That was just amazing. So, great trip. So, well, we have some hellos here. I'm gonna pop back. We've got. Doug, Gail, Bunny, Joyce. Great. How's the sound? We are using a different microphone today. So let me know if I need to adjust the sound. I can go back to microphone A if need be. So it was really quite a trip. And we ended up, for the same reasons as before, turning around and going back sooner than we'd intended, on our way back, it all just had to do with the wind, forever at the nose, as we say. And I wrote a song about that. I know some of you who have seen the audio-visual show know that song that I wrote for the wind called Favorable Winds. Let me see if I can pull up the visual so you can see it as I do it here. Favorable winds accompany my journey, won't you smoothly ripple the sea? Like a touch I remember, sure and steady, then I'll soon home. When we left Fire Island, come a rain east wind, we were tacking our way along the shore. A Montauk fisherman waved us in, and Block Island blew their horns. Mornings are golden above the splash of my oars as I rowed back to our Grampian sloop. But Cuddy Hunk beckons with old shipwreck shores and the vineyard that Martha once grew. Favorable winds accompany my journey, won't you smoothly ripple the sea? Below my sails, gentle and full, then I'll soon home. There have been blustery storms, there have been days much too calm. Give me a steady wind on the beam for the point of sail I'm on. The Swiftwood's Hull current to Buzzard's Bay, we shot through the Cape Cod Canal. Wind against wave made white horses play, and seagulls dove into the swell. Then came the crossing by day and by night, accompanied by dolphins and whales. Tired but glad to see Monhegan's light, but onward through Maine we would sail. Foggy islands, we bided our time till the buoy whistle would moan. Alas, when the easterly finally arrived, 'twas a gale that would bring us back home. The surf was raucous, the winds were whistling, hour after hour at the helm. Many a wave splashed over the side, but we followed that storm just as well. Is my home on this Grampian sloop? Is my home on the sea? Is my home that cottage on shore? Or will it soon heavenly be? Favorable winds accompany my journey, forever at the nose may you linger no more. Won't you be fair? My sails are ready, then I'll soon home. Like a touch I remember, sure and steady, then I'll soon home. Oh, yes. So, I want to say hello to some of my students who are popping in here. I just had the idea to work out the New York on the harp guitar yesterday. So this is arrangements on the fly. So if you want to learn that one, I'm still playing with it. It works kind of well. I never did really like the song. It was just a little bit too show-tuney for me, but it's kind of fun as an instrumental, don't you think? Marlene says hey to Captain Brian and First Mate. Yes, First Mate me. So yes, it's nice to get back on the water again. So it's been a little while. So and Marty says I was a player in his dream last night. Sometimes I have different players in my dream. Maybe a little later I'll do one of the two songs that came completely in a dream. I only have two that came in their entirety, but I get a lot of ideas. So I don't know if you get your ideas in dreams as well. We have Bob here popping in, who's on our trip where that song was written, "Favorable Winds," and but back to New York. The Statue of Liberty was really something to see. Up close. It's a really fine piece of art. That just the details in the sculpture are just really interesting when you see it, coming from the water. And so I took out my harp guitar and I did this. First time seeing a Statue of Liberty from this angle. How about that?
And right behind us, we have that beautiful thing.
Oh yeah, there's that boat. Pretty boat, isn't that? Just lovely. And we have some hellos from Montana. How are the wildfires doing out there? It's you say it's smoky out there. Wow. And a couple friends from Germany are chiming in. Boy, that's I have more friends in Germany than any place else in Europe. I just have made so many great friends there. So I would love to go back and visit. So I hope that everything opens up completely and freely. So we can continue our touring. But a lot of things coming up. Tommy Emmanuel Guitar Workshop's coming up. Going to be touring actually the far East Coast as far as Maine. Get back up there. And upstate New York as well. So it's all on my website schedule. I'll have to go there to figure out what I'm doing. And also some workshops as well. Some online workshops. Oh, speaking of which, let me do that one that I had learned together with my students, and just have got to really like this tune. This is by Mark Cass Stevens, and he's just a great composer. He was one of the top studio guitarists in Nashville for a long time, and toured with a lot of great country artists as well. Garth Brooks is one, yes, who recently featured him. But here's a tune that just reminds me of the 20s so much, and it just reminds me of that era and the whole joy with abandon that you see if you watch some of those old dances from the 20s. So this is called Sour Mash Rag. that a wonderful tune? It just takes you back to that time. So I have just another one more clip from our trip that I wanted to show you. Oh yeah, some more greetings here. Oh, Andrew's to say to you as well. And yeah, if you want to, I forgot to ask you to grab your guitars and play along with me on that. Those of you who have been working on that, and we're doing Vincent. That's the next one on Tuesday. Tomorrow, yeah. If you wanted to join that workshop, we're doing part 2 of Vincent, so you have to do a little catch up for part 1 if you wanted to sit in on part 2. But do let me know if you want to. It's on the String Masters format, but just send me an email, Muriel@murielanderson.com. Don't tell anyone. That's a top secret email address, and we'll send you a note. So the Sailing Dreams album is, starting to come together. We've got a couple of tunes. I did tell you I was going to play the song that came in a dream. I know I've done this before on Monday Live, but we just had a sort of request for it. And maybe I'll have to teach New York, New York. All right. Well, just wanted to share some experiences here, and the cool thing was on the way back, we both saw some dolphins playing in the water, and what was really rare is I had my camera with me and captured it. So let me put it here on the screen next to me. So yeah, isn't that cool? Wow. And I hadn't seen them jumping out like that. They were just playing. We were trying to navigate those waves, actually. Those were right in the inlet, and so we were, working with those, trying to get away. And then the skimmers came to this. These are these birds that fly right along the water, and they're kind of unique because the top beak is stable, and the bottom beak is hinged and comes down and scoops the fish out of the water. So it's kind of opposite from other birds. Just fascinating, beautiful. That vantage point, by the way, is Brian. He swam out there with the GoPro, holding up a GoPro. So it was just his head on the GoPro, and they didn't seem to be bothered by that. And came right up to it. So, well, one more tune to play for you, and then I will bid you adieu until next Monday. So, Brian saw some dolphins that were when he was way out in the ocean, and a night where there was a lot of bioluminescence in the water. So. And the dolphins were playing with the bioluminescence, swimming through it, so that their whole bodies were covered with this glowing mass of little. It's amazing how these tiny organisms can create light, and they were covered with it. So they were just dolphins lit up, diving in and out of the water. So that's something I'd like to see someday too. Okay, here we go. Well, it's good to see you all. It's good to see your hellos popping in, and I'll leave you with this one. This is Sailing Dreams. There's a little tab actually on my website. If you go there, it says Sailing, and that'll give you some updates as we're going, how it's coming. I'd like to sail the world again, feel the wind across the waves, and live from day to day, where life is not predictable, wondering what is round the very next bay. I'd like to raise the sails again, watching for the whales again, and never have to say, I wish that I had done the things that I can't do when I'm too old to play. To breathe again, love again, laugh again, love again in real life. Stay alive throughout the tides, worst of times, best of times, follow right behind. The mainsail is unfurled again, to be part of this world again on my time. I'd like to pull the anchor in, sail to where I've never been with sunset on our lee. The sparkles on the water, then I'm feeling free. I'm reading some of the comments as they come in. To jive again, tack again, I am now back again in real life. That's what we call multitasking. I'd like to sail the world again, feel the wind across the waves, live from day to day, where life is not predictable, wondering what is round the very next bay. I'd like to raise the sails again, watching for the whales again, and never have to say, I wish that I had done the things that I can't do when I'm too old to play. I'd like to sail the world again. I need some harmony here, you can sing with me. Ooh, I'd like to sail the world again. Ooh. Okay, well, there is one thing. Speaking of singing along, one thing that's hanging me up on the sailing album. The singer who I was going to have do some of the male vocal parts is not available to do it. So I am looking for a singer with a sailorly voice. You know, a little gruffness in it, maybe a New England accent or Irish or Scottish or English or Australian, just a hint of that. Some something that makes it have a little sailorly feel to it. So if you know of a singer who would be good and might be interested in doing that, do pop me a note, and sure would like to hear about it. I know some of you are on Facebook, some of you are on YouTube. Yep, there's some more comments on YouTube. So and you can email me directly, of course, if you like. So thanks all. Great to have you here. Great to have such a nice group of friends stopping in on Monday nights. So, so thanks for making my Monday a little happier. Thanks.